going on, everyone? Man, I had to start the stream off with that old school Pepe intro, baby. What's going on? Guys, gals, aliens, and degenerate crypto enthusiasts, welcome back to the live stream. Welcome back to the channel. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystems. So today we're going to be talking about some tailwinds, headwinds, whatever things, the current market situation with the Clarity Act, the legislation of the United States, what that means for the on-chain rotations for these blockchains. And we're going to talk about Ethereum. We're going to play some clips of Tom Lee, good old Tom Lee. And we are going to be talking about, the CT, crypto Twitter thesis, and other people's breakdowns of what's happening in the market. We're also going to have our own, opinions of the market. But we hope you guys are having a good day. It's man, what is it? Is it Tuesday? Yeah, I guess it is. It's Tuesday. And we're starting the week off strong. We have a PowerPoint deck to show you guys, and it's talking about the regulatory clarity. Is still the institutional catalyst for what's happening right now in the market. But today's is pretty much risk off. We've seen Bitcoin kind of selling off. We've seen some other assets in the altcoins selling off a little bit, but we do have some rotations for Bitcoin into Ethereum. We're seeing the ETH BTC ratio chart starting to flip bullish, and we're starting to see the ETFs kind of heat up a little bit with Ethereum. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about basically how the meme coins are consolidating, but there are still pockets of coins on Solana, also on Base, and on Ethereum, and we're going to be watching those. We're going to pull charts, but make sure you guys are hitting that like button, hit the subscribe button, dinging the bell, and checking out all the links in the description. It's the best way to support the channel, and we just hope you guys are just having fun, and if you're here, patience is key. If you saw the thumbnail, and we like making these really cool interactive thumbnails. Whenever we post on the timeline, we like to make it at least interesting. We like to make it fun. And so crypto history doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. It definitely often rhymes. But yeah, this is the catalyst for today. And you can see we like to make those cool motion interactive thumbnails. And because I don't think anyone else is really doing this, for to link into their crypto live stream. So welcome, everyone. Hope you guys have been enjoying yourselves. We got people from the Ticker Bitcoin community. We have Yukis in the house. Yukis, keep spreading the good word and the good news of the Lord Jesus Christ. That was one of the accounts that we saw was about to go silent. They were like, I just can't take it anymore, but there's something about Jesus. Like, I'm not very religious, not a religious person, but there's something about this Jesus guy. I don't know. There's something about what he says that I'm really resonating with. And I'm like, hey, you keep going towards that. Keep getting closer and closer to that. Because I will say it's a pretty interesting journey. But yeah, we want to give a shout out to all the people that are still here. Patience is a virtue. Patience is a skill. You have to learn it. It's very hard sometimes, especially in crypto. And I think this patience will reward us because there's some people in the community that we respect and that have been in the game for a long time, since 2013 or so, say that, the bull market, true bull market, where, we're getting true bull market prices, Bitcoin over 100K again, Bitcoin going into a range of even 200K. We get ETH going to 6K. We have XRP at like between $5 and $10. You got Solana breaking all-time high. And, it is inevitable, but it's just, we get there's so much noise. There's so much that can distract us. It's all these crypto Twitter accounts, and hey, I'm one of them. You know, I'm one of these crypto Twitter, whatever, crypto influencer. But I'd say I'm just kind of like an educator. I'd like to think that I'm like in through documenting this journey online here of navigating the ecosystems here in crypto and trying to build brands and connect with people and just kind of get better at holding myself in this type of environment. This is, you know, there's so many opportunities, and I think building that patience, resilience, it will pay off. It will pay off in the end. I really believe so. And we've seen these things happen before where history doesn't really repeat, but it kind of rhymes. So we've been seeing these exchanges recently. So the things that have been happening recently is BitMEX and Bitmart. These exchanges have shut down. And so what I think is happening is the closer we get to clarity, which is apparently going to hit the floor and possibly get voted or on to pass, or to move into the full vote in the Senate, then on the president's desk to be able to sign. And so it has to go through all of these different checkpoints. And I think what's happening is, in the meantime, the closer we get to it, these exchanges are going to start going belly up and going down. So it's kind of like what happened last time before we had Gary Gensler going out and we had the Bitcoin ETF and all this stuff. We had a massive capitulation of different platforms and banks, and all these things happened before we had the rip to the upside. Do you remember how it happened? It was like, before we had the massive rip to the upside, we had a massive Band-Aid rip off, and then things just started crashing. So funny enough, well, not funny enough, because people get their funds, locked up in these things. They might not ever get them back. Carl from the moon, Carl Runefeld, shout out to Carl. Haven't talked to him in forever. So Carl, if you're watching this, if you see this, hit me up. I want to know how you're doing, how the family's doing, and all that stuff. But yeah, it's been a hot minute. But I know he's been doing a lot of racing. So he's actually been doing some professional like team racing. He's actually been crushing it. So, and that's like, if you know Carl, super into racing, super into cars, loves to go fast, almost too fast sometimes, like literally too freaking fast. And he loves music. So if he's going to be doing anything besides crypto, it's going to be like racing and music. So shout out to Carl. But he was saying that with all of these exchanges going down, there's one that he thinks is going to be the next one, and it's because he has $600,000 locked up in the particular exchange. And so he kind of hinted at it, and he hinted at which one it was. And so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's L Bank. So L Bank, and then the closer it gets to clarity, a lot of there's going to be some exchanges that just continue to go down. So I don't know about you, but it makes me a little worried. And it's my responsibility, if however many people are watching, you probably shouldn't have all your eggs in one basket and have all your funds on a crypto exchange. That's why there's cold storage. That's why there's things like, what we're about to play, an ad for is for things like this, where you can custody your crypto, on a wallet, on a hot, cold wallet. And Tangem is a pretty amazing way that you can do that. So here's a word from our sponsors. Oh, someone just rang the doorbell.
I am Satoshi Nakamoto. The bull run can commence.
All right, so yeah. So like wallets like Tangem, you can self-custody your crypto in a really easy, convenient way. And with my offer code and my link that's in the description down below, you can get discounts off of your Tangem wallet, and also just, you get discounts, and you get to pick a really cool custom card. And we, the Sproto community, aka Fathead Dave, shout out to Fathead Dave, also a Tangent partner, is holding his Sprotos in a Tangent wallet and his ticker Bitcoins, his tickets, his precious tickets, his precious Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10 Inu ticker Bitcoin tickets inside the Tangent wallet. Precious, just like the Gringotts Bank on the damn Diagon Alley. So with my offer code in the description, make sure you check this out, and you can potentially get $20 in BTC rewards. And also don't miss the BTC rewards giveaway here. It's up to $40 plus extra 10% off till July 30th. So literally, like, the next few days, if you don't order one of these, you won't get a chance to have this this deal right here. So make sure you are getting your Tangent wallet with my offer code. So yeah, so shout out to Tangent. And so yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening right now. The big catalyst here is the Clarity Act. So Coinbase expects Crypto Clarity Act vote to happen as early as Monday, and this is August 3rd. So let's see what happens. Then we also we love Gabriel Haynes. So if you guys aren't following Gabriel Haynes, he's hilarious. He's probably one of the funniest content creators on crypto Twitter. And so he's making fun of Gary V. So Gary V basically, you know, he has these V Friends, and V Friends is also went into TCG and also went into NFTs. So the V Friends, you know, if you know Gary V, he's been basic, Yukis, you're right. And Gabriel also loves the Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10 Inu community, and he's actually made a couple videos wearing some of the merch, which is the best merch of all time. Basically the best merch of all time. It's the most head turns. Whenever I wear my ticker Bitcoin merch, it gets the most head turns. And then actually this shirt too, people love the Beancoin shirt. They're like, what is that? Is that a thing? And I'm like, yeah. You might even see it in Walmart one day. How about that? I think give you one better. I might even see it in Walmart one day. Yeah. All right, so yeah, Gabriel Haynes, he's hilarious. He's making fun of Gary Vee. Let's watch this.
I have been in an NFT cocoon for the past 7 to 10 weeks. I have spent literally every waking hour researching NFTs and collectibles.
And by the way, Gary V, if you're watching, which you should be, all of you millionaires and billionaires should be watching this channel. If you know what's good for you. No, I'm just kidding. So Gary, listen, if you're doing all this research on NFTs and you don't have a Sproto in your wallet, you better buy a Sproto, because all your research is folly. It's going nowhere if you don't have a Sproto in your wallet. And you might even go as far as putting the Sproto on, Gary. I bet I could find one that looks like your ass. So let's put our money where our mouth is. Let's actually, like, you know, do some real research. Put the Sproto on, Gary. Come on with the kick drum, Gary. Come with the kick drum, Gary. With the kick drum. With the kick drum. Yeah, let's go, Gary. Get the Sproto on.
And I believe that there will be an NFT boom in the next 1 to 2 years. There was an NFT boom in the past, but that was just the initial hype cycle. I was early to CryptoPunks and I sold them at the peak, but now I'm getting back in because I believe that in the future, soon, Fortune 500 companies will have NFT collectibles as their primary marketing strategy. Have you seen people lining up to spin the gacha at Fake World Assets? They're not buying Pokemon cards, which I also love, but they are buying NFTs, and they're not doing it in order to
hit the like button, guys. Make sure you hit the subscribe button.
They love collectibles, and I believe that in the future, this will be a huge market. They will be selling NFTs every single place that you can think.
And yeah, what he's talking about, the gacha. So this is where, we've mentioned this before, is the TCG market on chain through Collector Crypt, through this bear market, this portion of the bear market, things like this have been generating. So there's been like a top 5 generating revenue streams in the bear market. It's been TCG on chain, perps trading, and probably like I would say probably maybe the prediction market. So kind of combine the perps with the prediction markets. That's been a huge catalyst in the bear market. And then oddly enough, some old legacy meme protocols like Aave, the lending stuff, that's also been generating a lot of revenue too during the bear market. So what you could be thinking, forward thinking, if it's generating this much revenue now when sentiment's the lowest, it's, super bad. Like the sentiment right now is just terrible. We're in a massive fear still. Like we have this FOMC coming up. We have the Clarity Act vote coming up. We have this, supposed to have de-escalation of this war with Iran. And so also the oil's been so volatile, it's spiking all over the place. I mean, there's just, and then you got you got all this stuff kind of combining into what do you do? Well, I mean, in history, like we said in the title, history doesn't often repeat in crypto, but it rhymes. It doesn't do exactly, but it does a very similar rhyme. And so we go sometimes back to the Bitcoin rainbow chart. And technically, in terms of the Bitcoin rainbow chart, it's dead. Bitcoin is dead. It's in Bitcoin is dead territory, which means it's in a range according to the rainbow. Like we've been going sideways in below the green band. And it's based on history, every time we've passed a halving, we've broken an all-time high. And so this was the first time ever in history, like we've mentioned before, if you don't know this, Bitcoin broke an all-time high before the last halving, and that's never happened before. So then we eventually broke another all-time high during this range, which is, if you look at what's happened before after halvings, we've always went into the red range, and we haven't touched in the red range or the orange range at all. We haven't gone close, like we've barely even touched it. So technically, we haven't really broken out fully just yet. We kind of got stopped. I mean, we've had a lot of different things that have stopped the let's just say like the pumpage. We've had like the massive liquidation events with 1010 that was kind of connection with Binance. And we've had the tariffs. We've had all kinds of we've just had one thing after another that could basically put a stopper into us like blasting off like we've done before. Because you can see here in all these different points, like if you see here, like that's like all those points right there where we just like blasted off and then eventually went into the red. It's happened 3 times. And this is the only time after this particular halving where we didn't in the middle range. We're not like way up here in the red. So it makes sense that right now is like it's past a fire sale. I mean, it is like Bitcoin's basically free. So like Bitcoin right now in terms of inflation, you go to the Bitcoin price right now, 63,800. If you go to the weekly or something like that, go to the monthly, probably be easier to track it on the monthly here. It's like we measure the price of what we, let's just say Bitcoin goes to 60, let's say it goes below 60K again. So goes in this range, and against inflation over the next 2 years, 2-3 years, if you can be patient enough, if the bull run is going to peak at quarter to 2027, and we hit a new all-time high on altcoins and Bitcoin in quarter to 2027. That's not that long to wait. That's really not that long. And so against inflation of wherever else, I mean, where else are you going to put your money? I mean, gold, you might get a 2x. Silver, you might, maybe a 2x because of copper. You could think all the precious metals, you could be putting your money into that. Yes. But inflation, because it's going to continue to go up, and they don't even know what they're going to do, if they're going to cut rates or they're going to raise. They're even thinking they're going to raise the rates. We've kept thinking that they were going to continue to lower the rates into like a 3%, 2% interest rate. They might raise them. More than half of the Federal Reserve board people, they want the rates raised. So I don't know what the hell's going to happen with that. And so what does that mean for mortgage rates and all that stuff? And we're supposed to be getting, cheaper money, but now that might not be the case. I don't know. So are they going to continue printing and doing all this stuff? And then apparently inflation is more than 10% a year. So if you're losing 15, 20% a year on your money, if you're putting it in like a savings account, you're getting like 4%, maybe 5% in CD. Regular savings account give like 3.5 or 4%. Some of the yields now, if you're just doing stable coins or you're doing like a bank, they offer a little bit higher yield. Some of the program banks offer a little bit more yield. For instance, like crypto.com, if you want to use the link in the description down below, crypto.com, they offer cash. When you hold up and do all your banking, they give you, they give you yield and things like that. But it's not enough to battle inflation. So if you're going to basically, at this point, you're going to hold something, you're going to like dollar cost average into an asset, Bitcoin actually might be the best case scenario of a dollar cost average asset and a base in your portfolio over the next 2-3 years. And then you could say even as close to over the next 10 years, because if you did the same thing over the past 10 years in Bitcoin, or if you go back 10 years, literally go back 10 years, go to the 12-month freaking chart and go back to 2017, if you would have been dollar cost averaging at all these points through the past, since 2017, you would have been you've just been crushing it. You'd just be crushing it. You'd have such a good dollar cost average range still in Bitcoin against the dollar and against all other, crypto assets. And then you can take your 20%, 30% split of where you want to go into the red light district, which is basically everything else, besides Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's be honest. Then you can start to speculate. And that's when we get into the ETH BTC ratios and all that crap. So yeah, I mean, we just have to be more patient, And I think that the trenches and the memes and all that stuff, like it starts to get, it really distracts the crap out of you, and it throws you off of kind of remembering the fundamentals. So put a W in the damn chat. Let me know you guys are awake. It's only Tuesday. This is the second live stream of the week. We do this Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me know you have had at least one coffee. Put some coffee emojis in the chat. Let me know that I'm not here speaking to a brick wall by myself. Please show me you're alive. For crypto's Satoshi's sake. Put some freaking W's in the damn chat. That I know that I'm not literally speaking to myself. For the love of lords. I don't know if anyone has been in crypto YouTube jail longer than this channel right here. It's criminal, but you know what? We freaking press on. We freaking press on. We do our best. All right, so we're gonna give you guys this cool little PowerPoint, little breakdown here. All right. So the immediate drivers of the sentiment right now is Senate is prioritizing other bills before the Clarity Act. So the August recess creates a narrow calendar window for what is the decision. So also the Fed decision and global equity weakness raised volatility with the Fed decision of FOMC with the rates either paused, raised, or lowered. Crypto equities and miners sold off alongside majors, as well as some of the sell-off of the ETF. So this is what is driving some of the crypto volatility to the downside. And so there is a $68,000 resistance level that basically Bitcoin is trying to is eyeing towards, and this is around that same range right here. If you see in this red, you can see that's where it's talking about that resistance, because if we can break this, then that would mean we can kind of go back into more of a bull case scenario instead of it being going into the bear case, which ultimately would lead us into potential lower prices like 54,000, which then would be the low, because the current low right now is 57,800. That was the lowest that we went on Bitcoin. So if we're going to put in any more lower lows, we would be hitting around the Fibonacci level, which is that this right here, that what is that? Is that the I don't remember which fib that is. That's one of the Fibonacci levels right there. That's why I have it marked like a 49,000, 50,000, something like that. So that correlates pretty well. Translation for alt and memes, the higher quality BTC, ETH, beta stuff, Sol infrastructure is where you want to start looking, and we have a watch list for that. Liquid meme leader, so basically the highest liquidity memes. Then the lower quality stuff is kind of like random new launches. It's kind of liquid pairs, no socials, sniper heavy launches. That's what's happening as well, alongside things that are going to be a little bit more established, have more of an attention economy pulling it. And then the next catalyst is, and what we're talking about for the Clarity Act, is Senate floor timing, Fed decision, more ETFs flows, and Sol holding a good range to then push above 80, going close back up to $100 would ignite some of the on-chain stuff, and that's what we're going to talk about for today. And so here's the status of the Clarity Act. So May 14th, we had the Senate bake and advance the bill. June 1st, placed on Senate calendar, eligible for the floor. July 22nd is updating the 616-page text where President Trump actually, with the committee, and made the provisions, and that was kind of like pre-signed off as what they were going to present for the Senate floor. On July 27th, the Senate puts Clarity aside for other priorities. The next window is a pre-recess attempt, which is they're gonna try for August 3rd on Monday. And if that doesn't go, then there's going to be a September reset for it. So then that means we'd have to wait again. It would be, I guess, bearish. Who knows how the market's going to react. So why the delay matters, the Senate floor vote will still need 60 votes, reconciliation with the House language, and presidential signature. So then the market can price optimism, but cannot price final rules until text and votes are locked in. The trading implication is the good news is a catalyst for compliant venues, and blue chip infrastructure delay is a volatility event for exchange stocks, the DeFi tokens, and retail beta. So we can kind of see how the market is going to react, which tokens are going to pump, dump, and then that can build up a solid, research base of what we can watch. So what the Clarity Act actually changes is the SEC and CFTC lane split, where clear jurisdiction boundaries are decided between who is going to have control over what. So for the longest time, crypto was fully under the SEC, but now as the CFTC, that's where they're going to decide more of that. DeFi developer protections, frameworks for non-custodial builders and customer asset protection matters. This is where it kind of gets a little dicey because some DeFi, basically, Brian Armstrong of Coinbase has been in Washington trying to get a good write-up for the Clarity Act and to have better protections for the actual DeFi developers where they don't have to be fully, audited the same as what a non-DeFi protocol or a centralized entity. It should be different filings because it's DeFi. So I wonder how that's actually going to shape up and how that's going to shake out. Ethics provisions, restrictions on federal officials issuing, sponsoring digital assets become a key negotiation point, and that's where the Elizabeth Warrens and all the different politicians that slammed Trump over his involvement with crypto, also with his Trump meme coin, and how basically the Trump family's made billions of dollars over the past year and a half, 2 years, and it's been now put on basically by the numbers. Trump has made more in 2 years in crypto and the Trump family than he's made in his 40 years of his real estate investments. So if you're tired of winning, policy winners versus risk zones. So Coinbase style regulated venues, blue chip DeFi, tokenized equities, real world asset rails, which is the tokenized assets on the market, oracles, which is like Chainlink and XYO. Big news with XYO, speaking of oracles and connection data and stuff like that in infra. XYO and their layer 1 XL1 has been officially listed on crypto.com and now is tradable on crypto.com. So if you guys want to buy XYO and XL1 using my link in the description down below, using crypto.com, you can check that out. That's I've been waiting for some kind of news or something to drop with XYO to get me a little bit more bullish again, and that one is one. And so yeah, check that out. That's both of these narratives together, the oracles, the infrastructure for real world asset data, layer 1s, and also just a lot to unpack with that one. Risk zones is projects relying on regulatory ambiguity, launch pads hit by AML and KYC expansion. That's the thing, right now with all these, Robinhood chain launching, there's Robinhood launch pads, there's launch pad after launch pad, there's a launch pad for launch pads. How many freaking launch pads do we freaking need? Celebrity political meme coins with ethics risks, what's the ethic, yeah, so we could go into it all from Iggy Azalea all the way down to Andrew Tate, all the way down to Jason Derulo, and just all the different Melania and Trump themselves. The Libra token, the Malay of you can just keep go down the list of all the different ethics, issues with these celebrity political tokens and the bundles and the people that are associated with them and all that stuff. Yeah. So those are the big risks here. But we like to talk about the memes. We think the memes are going to be the actual biggest onboarding mechanism. And so if you think about Coinbase, if Brian Armstrong and Coinbase can capture retail and get them on the base chain and make it a seamless integration for retail to come in, same with Solana, what Phantom's doing with Solana, but Phantom was originally only Solana for the longest time. And then they added ETH, and then they added Base, then they added Bitcoin. Actually, if you remember, Phantom started only Solana, and then it added ETH, then Bitcoin, then it added Base Chain, then it started to add Sui, Polygon, and all that. Now it has a bunch of different ones. Now it ended support with Monad, but we would go down I'm pretty sure I listed all the networks that Phantom is as active on there now. But if you go on something like MetaMask, it's got all the different layer 1s. It's got Solana, it's got Bitcoin, Tron, and also you can add the base network on there as well. And so the base chain, I think, still does have a way of coming back if they can gain support from the trenches, from crypto Twitter. Listen to crypto Twitter, listen to CT. That was what Ansem was telling Brian Armstrong on the Market Bubble podcast, where, Brian Armstrong asked him, like, well, what can Coinbase do better? He's like, well, just, listen to us. Like, listen to what we've been saying. There's been plenty of coins that there's loud communities. For instance, like Ticker Bitcoin. Like, Ticker Bitcoin should be listed fairly and listed properly, like a true listing on Coinbase. Not a DEX listing, not if you type in Bitcoin, you can buy it through the DEX. No, a true listing, like pony up and listen to what we've been talking about. And so that's what's crazy, is that, like, I don't believe that there was a louder community of keyboard cat people than there were Ticker Bitcoin people and Sprotos and people like rocking the Sproto NFT and posting Ticker Bitcoin memes. And so that was where I think there is a disconnect of where Ansem also pointed out that where the community felt like you guys were pushing different products, or also even potentially different, tokens to be listed and getting that, retail exposure to, or if you will, with picking and choosing. So I think it's very interesting, but we'll see what happens when it comes to what Brian Armstrong, what Kobe can do, what Jesse can do, what these people that are, have been working with Coinbase, if they can truly get people on chain, because that's the point. You get people on chain, get people using the app. What do? Well, they get their cash and they convert it into coins. And then our bags hopefully will pump. So that's the same thesis that we could apply, so we can save you the word salad on Solana memes. So the meme rotation, if you think about it, if Sol holds and BTC stabilizes, these are the first tickers traders will likely check before microcap roulette of what is happening right now with the attention economy with tokens like Ansem or what have you. They're going to look at Pingu. It's the strongest, most recognizable now IP of an NFT and a token that was an airdrop that is worldwide, has been recognized by the NASDAQ, has been recognized, and and Luca is pretty determined. He looks like he's losing sleep. His hair's long. He's working hard. Seems like he's not going to quit. Guys like that, well, they're determined. They're in it for the long term. They're in it for the long haul. So Pingu could come back when, with Sol holding strength. Same with the Trump coin, oddly enough. And when we talk about Bonk, we talked about Bonk previously, got hit really hard with that DAO hack and exploitation, 20 million out of the DAO. And so the Bonk got hit hard. But I think regardless, the old tokens like Bonk or Whiff or Fartcoin. Remember, Fartcoin was the original AI meta, and this could be a very key coin to watch when Sol. Imagine you're trenching. You've been losing money on all these different coins that only go to up to about up to maybe 1 million. Maybe it gets to like 3 million. Maybe it gets to like 5. And you've bought in different spots. Maybe you've sold a little bit. Okay, you got a moon back. Cool. Well, then the thing goes to zero. It doesn't go anywhere. It just goes into the ground. The whole time, there's Fartcoin sitting there. And you remember that how it traded before. You remember that it was one of the funny, one of the more funnier ones, I would say, in terms of the pump trenches. One of the first highest liquidity traded tokens, and on Solana, by the way. And it's Fartcoin. I mean, it's great. So it makes sense. Imagine you could just buy that, and you hold a bag of this, and Sol breaks all-time high. Fartcoin could go up 1,000%, easy, and it just could be an easy hold. And you could tell people that you retired off of Pepe, Dogecoin. You could tell people you're quitting because a coin, Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, Inu, Fartcoin, Pepe, Dogecoin, Wojak, all went to billions. And that's all you had to do was just hold culturally funny ass memes on chain. That's it. And it doesn't have to be that complicated. And we all make it freaking complicated for some reason because we're in a launchpad war. It's like, this is DJ liquidity, you know, being, you know, burnt in real time on Pump Fund, Bonk Fund, Bag, Zora, Clanker, 4Beam, whatever. You know, if all that liquidity could just rotate right into, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coins. I mean, shit. Give me a break. So that's kind of the I think that's the rundown. That's the rundown for the meme rotation, you know, specifically for Sol. And then we've talked about how we think the ETH memes are going to play out. We have our favorites. We love Pepe, Wojak, and Ticker Bitcoin. And the SHIB whales are waking up too, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, make sure you guys are checking out all that stuff. And if you like this breakdown, let me know. I kind of actually really like how I've been putting these particular slide decks together. I like the colors, I like the breakdown, it makes sense, and it's very educational. So if you like these, if you enjoy these, and you want to be able to use these for your own research, I need to get my website back up. So once my website is back up and running, I will post these as a weekly blog post that will go along with the live stream. So Monday through Friday, we will have the live stream. We'll be breaking this down in the live stream, and you will get a PDF to be able to go with it in a blog post. So very convenient. Yeah, because I think this is very informative and I think it'll help. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. And I don't know, is there anything else to check out? All right, yeah, follow me on FOMO. That's another link we wanna shill. Make sure you guys are checking out the profile. It's at DanoCrypto904. So we'll copy that in the description. Put that in the chat. We have 0 people following us. I don't see. I mean, you guys. I don't know if that. Again, I feel like I'm talking to a damn brick wall. Hello. You know. I ordered the large cappuccino. Whoa, man. Whoa, man. Whoa, man. All right, so 0 followers. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Let's go. Come on. We're down $50 on FOMO because I have 0 followers. If we had at least 7 followers, there's 7 people watching right now on the live stream. Do we really only have 7 people watching? Jeez. Where is everybody? Where is it? Why do I keep getting mocked? That's it. I'm going to TV. I'm done. I'm done with this internet wave bullshit. I'm going to the damn TV. I'm going to the airwaves. You want to talk about? If you want to talk about onboarding some people, that's it. I'm going to the boob tube. Going to the damn TV. Gonna keep mogging me on this damn thing. About to shut it down. Shutting it all down. Tired of this nonsense. It's a bunch of crap. But I will say, look, Bitcoin consensus, like they got 133 people watching. Sam Press 166. They have like thousands more people, followers than I do. So I guess if I do at least have 4, I got 2,300 followers. I got 6 people watching on. And then YouTube, let's see, what is there, like a 7.5, 2.5 men? I was supposed to make a joke. There's like literally 2.5. A half guy got chopped by a guillotine, literally bleeding on the ground. He's like, I can't thank Mark Cardano. Oh, Charles, where are you, Charles? Charles Hoskinson. Where are you, Charles? Can you please? Charles! Charles! Damn it, Charles! I mean, you couldn't even just pump Hosky. Damn it, Charles. We've asked Charles, we told Charles to come on the live stream. Charles Hoskinson, if you're watching, we still have love for you. We do still think you are a good dev. Don't worry. We would love to have you on the live stream. I think the community would love it. I think the bull market might start if you come on the live stream. I've said this. If you come on the live stream, the bull market might start. It might just start for Cardano. If you come on the live stream and we just shill the shit out of Cardano, we start bringing back the good days, the old times. I think we might be onto something. We start talking about commercial ideas. We start talking about how we start getting people wearing Ada shirts. Let's go. I might be about it. I mean, look, Cardano is at such a good spot right now. It's in the ground. I mean, if we could CTO Cardano, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's CTO Cardano. I might be down for 15 cents. Come on. If you guys remember, Cardano at a point was literally, it was at $3. $3. Give me my $2. Where's my $2? You better give me my $2. Guys. I mean, we just, come on. 3 months, 369, give it to me, Cardano, one more time. Get low, get low, get low, get low, get low. To the window, to the wall. Come on, 3-6. Come on, that's that 9 months. 9 months? Holy shit. Come on. Guys, this is go time for Cardano. Let's CTO it. 15 cents. 15 cents. 15-cent Cardano. Holy crap. Same thing with XYO. Look, XYO, it's at the absolute look, with the complete opposite way of what I thought it was going to do. I thought I was going to trade up in this channel. We're just going to go to the moon. Retire off of XYO. Instead, it was like, no, I'll see you in the dumpster. I will see you at the dumpster fire party. Welcome to hell. Welcome to hell of the altcoins, my friends. Welcome to hell. It's so funny. Come on, guys. Hit the like button. Do I gotta keep screaming at you? I'm about to start screaming. I'm gonna start screaming. Don't make me start screaming in this microphone. If we had 8 people in here and we don't have 8 likes, if YouTube's trying to mog me right now and fake the numbers, what's happening? Do you guys not want your own bags to pump? That's what I don't understand about people in crypto. If we want our bags to pump, we have to we gotta be evangelistic. We have to share everything. Be loud. Bullhorn, megaphone, Alex Jones style. We have to. The only way. It is the only way. All right, so let's go into the bookmarks. Oh, actually, let's play the clip of Tom Lee. We didn't play the clip of Tom Lee yet. Tom Lee, let's go.
Prediction market bet, so to speak. What do you think? Is there any real chance the Fed hikes rates this week?
I think that, the prediction markets and funds want to hedge on a binary event. That's why you got the 30%, because someone needs to hedge something. But I'd say the probability is low. I mean, I wouldn't expect them to raise rates.
What about at any point in the future?
As you know, they're going to see how the data unfolds. So I don't think it's data dependence, but data responsiveness. To us, I think the underlying inflation.
See, look, do you understand? Look at Tom. Look at Tom Lee. You know how down he is on Ethereum? Does he look stressed? He's down billions of dollars on his ETH investment, okay? He looks moisturized. His hair looks like it's done very well. He looks like he's been eating really like high quality sushi, like he's gotten a lot of fish oil. Look at the man's face. Does he look like he's a little stressed out? When you look at Michael Saylor's face, the guy looks like his beard's about to psoriasis jump off of his fucking face. So, and he looks a little stressed. He's like, yeah, I vibe coded, you know, STRC, and I make really bad AI videos. And I mean, Tom Lee's over here just going on the news saying, yeah, I mean, you know, everything, you know, everything's going to be fine.
Story has really weakened because shelter is really weak, and we'll see it tomorrow with Case-Shiller. And if wages aren't pressure, then the real pipeline of underlying inflation that we're seeing now is just tariffs and oil, which aren't things the Fed has to necessarily embark on a hiking cycle for.
Potentially, I don't want to use the bad word of transitory. They're potentially temporary, right?
Yes. And
oil is down right now because there's some talks. And by the way, tomorrow could be up again. We have no idea what's going to happen. Depends on the talks. But the point is, if and when there is lasting sort of peace, oil will likely go back down. The market seems to want to push it back down. That's got to impact the Fed's thinking.
Yeah, because then they just have to see this little bubble that they have to kind of manage through. I mean, I think in some ways they might just shrink the balance sheet instead of doing a policy rate change.
A quantitative tightening?
Correct. Yeah, I think that's a better way to titrate. What they might say is like, hey, let's try to put some pressure on growth, but not to deliberately slow the economy.
Crypto.
Yes.
And what's been happening lately is fascinating. Let's lift up that hood of the stock market, look under it. Crypto, Ether, for example, I think you've heard about that.
Yes,
Ether?
I have.
And Bitcoin, they've been coming up. Semiconductor stocks have been going down. The dispersion between the two is the widest in years, if not ever. But correlation is not causation. Are those two things related, or is it random but interesting?
Yeah. Well, the price of crypto is not following what people expect because they're saying, hey, the Fed could be hawkish, so crypto should be down. Oil prices are high, crypto should be down. And of course, AI's trade is still healthy, but crypto is actually rising. ISO of Ethereum to Bitcoin has been going up, even though the Clarity Act looks like it's really being stalled. You know, the odds of passage this year have dropped to in the 30% range.
Can I one more time ask why the Clarity Act needs to be passed? What does it do?
Yeah, the Clarity Act creates a national body to govern crypto in the U.S. So a singular entity, which will be the CFTC. It's a big deal because if you're, as you know, the big banks and the asset managers are tokenizing assets and want to build stablecoin rails, if they have to be subject to state regulations or local regulators, it is going to give a lot of people cold feet.
But are they for it or they're against it?
It's many of the asset managers are for it. Charles Schwab, Franklin Digital,
because
Fidelity.
This is and I forgive me if I don't have my years exactly right. I believe the SEC was created in 1934, I think, ish. This is a 1934 type moment, and the reason the SEC was created is because state regulators, you might have one rule in Indiana and another rule in Virginia, and investors like, I can't manage both these rules. Bitcoin is having, all crypto is having that 1934
Correct.
Type moment, right?
Exactly. And in addition, crypto is, because it's turning money into software, a lot of things can turn into money. Loyalty points, reputation. Then you want a governing body to oversee all this. Now, Japan, Russia, Europe are actually passing Clarity Act-like bills. So the U.S. is...
The same as what we were talking about before, and have what we've always talked about, is the evolution in the period that's in between going from one thing to the next, one evolution to the next of tech, when, you know, we saw it firsthand in a lot of different things in the gaming industry, in the cell phone industry, in the computer industry, in the telecommunications industry, whatever, you know, all this stuff. I've seen it a really big firsthand in audiovisual, running sound and being a sound engineer. I've went through multiple different setups and upgrades, and where it comes to the FDIC, basically, whatever frequencies and different things that you're like have to upgrade and not use anymore because it interferes with, emergency responding frequencies. Like, so it's like all this stuff, like it eventually it catches on, and then there's like a point where it's like a little bit painful and there's some FUD, but then eventually it moves, and it moves up. And then you can kind of give the example of like an Amazon type story where it starts off as a small company, grassroots, selling books online, and then eventually starts, to where other private sellers can then start selling on Amazon their own books. And then it moves into a whole system, an ecosystem that basically turned into over 100,000% move to the upside of stock growth. And then that is what crypto's moment is right now. And what's great about crypto and DeFi and being able to have all this stuff is you don't have to ask permission. You don't have to be an accredited investor. You can just start building a portfolio that hopefully we've educated enough to help build a solid portfolio of these crypto assets and the infrastructure and all these things. Because it's like Tom Lee said, it's tech. It's basically tokenizing money and digitizing money into software, and items and real world assets into software, which is like, taking the fine art example and tokenizing that in NFTs, taking the land and property management and the contracts and deeds, putting that and tokenize it as an NFT on the blockchain, all the funds, all this stuff is like all in the process of going through. And if we can invest into a piece of it and invest in the network, then, and we're patient enough, we will get rewarded by adding that liquidity and being in the liquidity pot first, before, it's like the bull run rushing and the FOMO and all that stuff that kind of starts to happen. And funny enough, think, the memes will kind of be a big driver of that as well. So
risking getting behind. That's why I think crypto is recovering, because outside the U.S., it's being embraced.
Even though you say you actually think, look, they had a few legislative days left before the midterms. Could this be a lame duck kind of move, do you think?
Well, I believe there's still many people who are hopeful that something can be offered. But it does sound like that a lot of concessions were given, but that those who oppose the bill still want to extract something else. And so anything could happen.
All right.
Tom Lee, really appreciate your time as always, my friend. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Tom Lee. We appreciate it, Mr. Tom Lee. And so, like we were saying, the ETH situation here, it might be high time to start dollar cost averaging some ETH and some some Solana, some XRP, some Doge, some Chainlink, some AVAX, Litecoin, Hyperliquid. All these things are starting to get some volume in the ETFs. A little bit sell off, but we're getting some more some buying pressure. A little bit of sell off on the Bitcoin side, but we're starting to get some inflows back into ETH. Nothing too crazy, but once we start getting back tracking, 50 million in a day, 100 million in a day, 150 million in the 200 millions in a day, that's when we're going to start to see ETH getting back up to those ranges of, $5,000, breaking all-time high, going into $6K. And it's going to be one of those things where it's like, it's going to be a hated rally. And it sucks because it's like, well, I don't see why people would, be upset that, ETH is going to go to $6,000. It's because they don't have any, and they've been and they got convinced this whole time that ETH is dead. And, there's people like Marty Party and all these accounts that are like, oh, ETH is bad technology. Or, oh, I'm done with ETH. And these influencers and these people that, championed ETH for the longest time. And then all of a sudden it's at 6K and the memes on there are pumping like crazy. And it's just going to be a hated rally. And it's going to be the same with a lot of stuff, and with Bitcoin, quite frankly. because you could have gotten probably convinced as well during this time that all of this crypto stuff that's happened in the background, like what is, like the guy said, you open up the hood of all of this upheaval and all this stuff in finance, and then you look under it, guess what's under the hood? Crypto. Yeah. Well, oh, what do you know? The thing, the thing we've been talking about for 5 years. So and then, and it's not an easy game, You can get lucky. You can also be dialed in and locked in and have the best TA in the world and still lose it more than the next guy. But if you stay long enough in crypto, like we said, you be patient enough and you learn from your mistakes, you get better, you journal, you document your stuff, and you just follow the signals. Follow and don't go against what is kind of right in front of us right now. We know the memes are a strong narrative. We know the infrastructure is a strong narrative. We know that these coins, these chains, these things, especially the ones that have the ETFs like BTC, ETH, XRP, SOL, Doge, Link, AVAX, Litecoin, Hype. I mean, yeah, there's some stuff to dive into. So keep on track, keep on the dial, and also, if you want me to talk about a specific project, let me know in the comments, let me know in the description, or let me know in the chat. Check out all the links in the description below. It's the best way to support the channel. All of this that we offer, the live streams and all this stuff, and, Telegram, the Discord and all, that's all free. You join and interact with the community in that way. And we really appreciate you guys coming in and tuning into these live streams and staying consistent with me if you've been watching this whole time. We've had a lot of people come in, we've had a lot of people fall off, go away, come back, so, but either way, if you're any of those people, we love you still, and may the light of the Lord Jesus Christ shine on you and your families, and we hope to see you on the next live stream. Take it easy.
Oh, someone just rang the doorbell.
I am Satoshi Nakamoto. The bull run can commence.